there's something I want to show off. So during the rando, I talked about how Song of Time blocks work. You know how there's that point in the rando where we were talking about Song of Time blocks, and I mentioned how Song of Time blocks actually go back in time when you, or like when you play Song of Time, the Song of Time block goes to the other timeline, right? And so I guess there's actually more to it than just that, or there's sort of more to it. There's sort of not more to it. It's weird. Okay, so let me just demonstrate it with this Song of Time block first. So this Song of Time block is here as adult, and if I go to child and I come to the same place, Song of Time block is not here. Okay, so this makes sense, right? And well, I actually know Dry. That's what I'm going to explain. I will explain the mystery of the Song of Time blocks. And so here, if I play Song of Time as child, now the child has the Song of Time block, and I go to adult, now the Song of Time block's not here. So in this case, this is true. The Song of Time block does actually travel through time when you play Song of Time. And another case, what was the other one? Windmill. So this is another case where this is true. So as adult, there's Song of Time blocks here. As child, there are no Song of Time blocks here. And if I play Song of Time here as child, they will be here as adult. Thanks for 3 months, Duke's Mobile. Oh, actually, I don't know if this will still work since I'm out of bounds right now. Let me just... I wonder if this will work. I know this does work in general. Okay, yeah, it did. So yeah, the Song of Time blocks, for these two cases, it is true that they actually do travel through Song of Time, or through time. So now let's get to some weird stuff. Let's go to Gerudo Training Grounds. So Gerudo Training Grounds, in this room, there's some Song of Time blocks over there. They're not here as child, or not here as adult. And if I come here as child, they are there. So, this would make sense. Okay, if I play Song of Time here, they should be there as adult and not be there as child. So I'm gonna play Song of Time here. And now, go to adult. And they're still not there. But what's really weird is that if I go back to child, they're back. And see, the reason for this has to do with this. So, maybe not. Or, yeah, I guess I have to redo this. Let me do this without the flags there. So, when I play Song of Time here, so this is the flag list, this is flags that get set, and see, so, see how it says temp switch? So, dungeons have flags for, they have, where is it? They have switch and temp switch flags. So switch flags are like permanent switches, things that get changed permanently in the dungeon. Temp switches are temporary changes that will get reset after you leave the dungeon. So, in Gerudo Training Grounds, these Song of Time blocks are temp switches, but in Forest Temple with that one Song of Time block, or the Song of Time blocks in the Windmill, those are regular switches, those are permanent changes. So, because they're labeled under temp switch, it's impossible for them to actually act properly to go back in time, because they're temporary. As soon as you leave the dungeon, it ignores any changes that happen to it, and it will go back to its original state. And the same is true in Ice Cavern. So there's Song of Time blocks here in Ice Cavern. And this is another example of a temp switch. And so these will not be there as adult, or it will not be changed as adult because, well, I guess as adult, they're gone either way. Well, actually, so another thing that's kind of weird is, for these Ice Cavern Song of Time blocks, they're gone as both adult and child. Neither of them has their default state on. But back in the Guerrilla Training Grounds one, the default for child is on and the default for adult is off, which is really strange. Because that means there's essentially 3 types of inconsistencies. There's whether it's temp switch versus permanent switch, and also whether some are default as child or not default as child or whatever. So it's really strange. There's a lot of inconsistencies with how Song of Time blocks are dealt with, I guess. So the TLDR of this is, it is true that Song of Time blocks do go to the past or the future when you play Song of Time, if they are labeled as permanent switches. The issue is that many Song of Time blocks are for some reason instead labeled as temp switches rather than permanent switches, which then makes it impossible for it to obey that kind of logic. So, there's your lesson on Song of Time blocks. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Yeah, Drags, I remember looking into that before, and I remember that it definitely did seem to apply with some Song of Time blocks and not others, and I always wondered why. And then last night I thought, let me look into that and like figure out why some are different than others, and then I realized I did not mean to do that. And then I realized, oh, this totally makes sense. Temp switches. Just yet another inconsistency with how OoT deals with things.